Hey there, guys. Welcome on the spot. Today I have a legend from Climb, one of the founders of Climb, Mark Choey. We go way back in the Climb days. And Mark, the floor is yours. Go ahead and introduce yourself or go from there.
Yeah, Mark Choey. I'm a real estate guy. Done everything in real estate from being an agent to being a brokerage owner, starting a brokerage, selling a brokerage. I have now brokerage software called High Note. I've done the whole gamut of stuff in real estate. So I like to say I'm anything and everything real estate.
Yeah, it's great. So you ready to go start with these questions and go from there on the
Yeah,
spot? You ready? All
I
right.
love it. Let's do it.
We'll start with the first one. What are your thoughts on the real estate market with present and future? What do you think is happening in today's market? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we're having a problem here. Sellers are locked into their houses. They don't want to sell because the interest rate environment doesn't make it attractive for them to sell. So it's weird because you have less people wanting to sell, so you have less inventory. But those buyers, it's expensive for them, and prices are going up in a lot of cases because there's less inventory. So it's really weird, and I think I don't think we've ever seen this kind of market before, and it's been stuck at a 30. We're stuck at a 30-year low in transactions. So I don't know what to say other than it's a weird It's a weird one that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, definitely. Me and my 8 years of experience, definitely one of the strangest ones I've been in.
Yeah.
You want to share a little story, history of how Climb was founded, how you guys put it together? I know it's
Oh
a little
man,
history, but
taking me back. So
yeah.
I'm a New Yorker, and I was in tech. I did a master's degree in electrical computer engineering, and I was at Citigroup in New York. I met my wife, got married, and we said, you know what? I'm tired of New York. It's hot, too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and we had like 3 years of record temperatures, both extremes. So we moved to San Francisco, and I've always wanted to get into real estate as an investor. So I started investing. I started going to open houses, checking out properties. And then I ran into our old friend, Chris Lim, and he was my agent. He picked me up as an agent, as
Oh
a
wow.
buyer, client, and he became my agent. And we grew into friends quickly. And he said, hey, listen, you should get your license after a while. And I said, why should I get my license? That's bizarre. You're my agent. Why should I? But I was getting into real estate investing. So I said maybe getting my license would be a good thing. And so I got into my license and I studied all about the business. And I said, wow, this business is hard. You know, if you're an agent, you're an independent contractor and you don't have retirement, you don't have any sort of equity you're building up. And if you stop working, that's it. Where's the income going to come in from? So I approached Chris. I said, look, we should start a brokerage. So that was it. That's how I got into it. My agent told me to be an agent. I got my license and I was off to the races. I loved it. I loved the creativity. I loved the sort of entrepreneur's flair of being an agent. You could be an agent in any way you wanted or needed to be.
Yeah.
You could create business in any way you want. You could work as hard or as little as you want. And the entrepreneurialism was really great. And you get paid today, right? As opposed to
Mhm.
building a company and hoping it becomes profitable. And it's also you eat what you catch, right? So
Yeah.
it's very fair in a way, and I like that. I liked it being like a meritocracy. And if you had a salary job and you're working for someone else, you are not, you're not I guess you're doing what someone else is asking you to do, and then it didn't really matter a lot if you worked really, really hard and did a very, very great job versus just dilating it in and not doing a great job. So I would, be in positions where I was excelling at my job, but I was
Yeah.
still getting paid the same amount. And then at just as much as this guy whose weight I'm pulling,
Yeah.
right? And so I just kind of felt like I don't like being in a salaried position working for somebody. So that's how I got into real estate and that's how I formed.
Cool. What's one of the most memorable things you remember of Climb? Comes to mind.
Oh
Or a
man,
couple ones. You can share a couple if you want. Yeah.
Climb was awesome. That was a great time in our lives. What I loved, so many different memories, gosh, but I just loved overall how much everyone loved to be there,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
Like,
It's family. Yeah.
yeah, it was like a family. And we may not have gotten along personally, like interest wise or age wise or stages of our lives or the way we thought and our upbringing, but everyone was together and we kind of like, we felt something. There was something that we were part of, and that's what it really, really stood out and I missed a lot. And a lot of people, and you were just saying it too, there isn't a climb nowadays in the market.
Yeah.
There's no small company feeling with a vision.
Boutique. Yeah.
Yeah, boutique real estate brokerage with sort of this, this energy about it. And
Yeah.
it's hard. You can't just, that's lightning in a bottle, right? It's sort of,
Yeah.
these kind of things are very hard to have and do. And they only happen in moments of time where everything, all the pieces fall together. You
Yeah.
had great agents, we had a great market, we had great leadership, we had great ideas, and all of that coming together was really what started Climb. You could have a company with a great idea, but the market might not be right. Or you could have great branding in another place, but the leadership may not be right. Or you could have great agents, but the branding's not right. Or you could have, you know, any sort of thing could be off, right? Or you could have all the things, great agents, great leadership, great branding, but the market is slow.
Yeah.
It was a unique combination of and factors that that I missed and I don't take for granted because it's very difficult to replicate. But
Yeah.
I love the agents that were part of us. They loved being with us and we loved having them, you included.
Thanks. Appreciate it. What's a struggle you want to share with work or in life for our
Man,
listeners?
like I'm 54 now, and so you've seen a couple of cycles come around, and the struggle. There's always a struggle in everything you do, and I just think that I think I have a new startup, high note, right? And the real estate market is slower. So we're seeing a lot of real estate agents struggle through this time. But we've seen this cycle before. And we've seen the ones that have been successful and the ones that didn't make it. We've seen, and everyone has personal struggles, right? You have issues with the family, issues with your loved ones, issues with your spouse, issues with your brother, issues with your sister, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
I think um, I think COVID was an interesting one that a lot of us are still trying to get out of, right? I think work from home really changed the fabric of our neighborhoods and cities. And
Yeah.
San Francisco has not come back and it is struggling. And
I
I,
think
I
Walnut
think,
Creek still similar too. I feel like too hasn't come back just from being there. It's
yeah,
yeah.
it's slower. There's less energy. People are I feel a little more detached, right? Like I think a lot of our relationships suffered during COVID. We lost touch with some people and, permanently in some cases. And you're trying to reconnect with people. And I think people are starting to get back out again. But,
Yeah.
I think COVID made us really withdraw and turn to our screens. We started streaming. We started
Yeah.
being connected on Netflix, on
Virtual.
social. And then and I'm fighting it with myself a lot. Like rather than go out and go into the city or go to some networking thing or go to some bar or meet up with people for a casual drink or driving
Yeah.
45 minutes to see people, people are just defaulting to, nah, I'm too tired. I'm going to go catch up on they won't say this, but they're like, I'm going to go catch up on my TV show. And I think that's a struggle that I see a lot of people dealing with. Kids
Yeah.
playing a lot of video games, to partners not being as connected because they're on their watching their shows, friends that are not getting together as much, work colleagues who are all working from home, right, and not
Yeah.
going to the office as much as they used to. I mean, it was bad before COVID. I remember our offices, they were like half empty all the time,
Yeah.
and the only way to get people together was during events and meetings. But now, and then those were great because, you'd see each other once every 2 weeks or whatever. It was great. But now you can't get people to come to the meetings. The meetings are all on Zoom or Google Meet, right? And they try to alternate them and stuff, but you lose the personal touch and feeling that you get
Yeah.
when you see someone in person. So I think that's a big struggle, personal struggle, as well as a societal struggle. COVID and work from home and recovering from that. I think we're still not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thoughts, good points, and stuff like that. Good share. You want to share a quote for our audience?
Ooh, yeah, I got a lot of, I'm going to share a couple of them, right?
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
Mark Twain said, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. And I'm a perfectionist at heart.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to do things unless it's perfect. But what happens is you end up not doing it then. So there's another quote, Napoleon Hill. He goes, a goal is a dream with a deadline. Turning your dreams into goals, and getting started on things are kind of the quotes I gravitate towards, And then a couple of other ones. There's one from, I'm going to share a couple if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
But
Yeah.
Elon, who's very controversial, so
Yeah.
I hesitate in sharing this, but he had a good quote. He goes, "You could either watch it happen or make it happen."
Yeah. I heard one before.
That's a great one, right? And then Reggie Jackson,
Okay.
you know who he is?
Baseball. Baseball. Yeah.
Baseball. Yeah, yeah. Famous Oakland A slugger and New York Yankee.
Yeah.
But he goes, as long as you have a bat in your hands, you can change the story.
I've
Oh,
not heard that one before. That's a good one though.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
a great one. So
Yeah.
I love that. And I kind of look at it like, don't complain about the situation. Go do something about it.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're not doing something about it, then do me a favor. Don't complain. Please. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. So anyway, patience of that.
What do you watch nowadays on TV show, Netflix or Apple TV? What's something that sticks out to you to watch?
Yeah, I just got done with White Lotus, the third season. That was really good. Must admit the first two were better than the third, but they were all really good. I never thought I would like a series where 99% of the time they're just talking at dinner or at a meal,
Huh. Yeah.
and then liking this kind of show. I really enjoyed it. The Studio with Seth Rogen
Yeah.
on Apple TV is amazing. Have
Yeah.
you watched this?
No, I haven't seen that one. No. The
It's a
studio.
great one. It's so
Okay.
fresh. The writing is great. The topic is great. It's like about the inside story. It's basically a story about Seth Rogen, who's a newly appointed studio head, and
Okay.
about his staff and the daily drama that happens in creating movies, launching movies, wooing
Yeah.
actors, and there's a lot of cameos. So it's kind of like an entourage in a way,
Yeah.
except not, four bros
Yeah.
running around with,
They just
vintage.
released his character for Warzone, Call of Duty. I've watched that, but he's in their game now.
Who?
Seth Rogen.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
awesome. But Seth Rogen's great in this. The writing is great. It's funny. The
Yeah.
characters are excellent. They're all different and wacky, and it's really funny. And then the whole story is fresh. I really enjoying it. Those two TV shows.
Let me ask you this with the basketball. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of top basketball players?
Oh my God, four? You have to pick four.
4 guys, yeah. Need 4.
You have to pick MJ, or that's assumed.
You don't have to pick them. People haven't picked them before. Someone's picked like Kate and Clark, someone's picked Curry and some other people, but
Oh yeah. Okay. She just got started. How could she be anointed on Mount Rushmore?
for women,
And are we picking all time or just this era?
all time, any era. You
All right, well,
pick.
you gotta go with MJ,
Okay.
no doubt.
Okay.
And you gotta go with a big man,
Yeah.
like an old school center.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of old school centers nowadays. They're sort of all different now. But I think you gotta go with one of the OG centers, like Kareem.
Yeah.
You have Wilt, you have all these great centers, Bill Russell, all
Shaq.
these people.
Yeah,
Shaq,
Shaq.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I would take Kareem over Shaq
Okay.
just because you couldn't stop that sky hook. And
Yeah.
then so you have now MJ, who's you got Kareem. Now you need a point guard. And the problem is Steph, he's not like a typical point guard, right? He's a point
Yeah.
guard position, but he's
Yeah.
a scorer, right? So it's hard to put him in. He's almost like a shooting guard almost, right? But
Yeah.
he's really a point guard position. He's not like Klay Thompson is like a classic shooting guard. He's just
Yeah.
like pass and shoot, right? He's the guy that just catch and shoots, right? So point guard. I mean, I probably got to go with Magic.
Okay.
Magic is such a versatile point guard. He's not like a Stockton who's just, a shorter, faster version of, he's like a classic point guard. But Magic is like, he's got classic point guard skills, but he
Yeah.
could also play center, right?
Yeah.
And he affects the game in so different, in ways that maybe Stockton couldn't because Stockton's height. And then So I like to pick those. But if and AI though is my favorite.
Iverson,
AI,
okay.
he's my
He's
favorite player.
I think he might be the first. Yeah, I heard he might be the first to mention him. Maybe someone
In
else did, but
here,
yeah,
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 AI.
yeah,
AI is my favorite. I just love his heart and grit and everything.
yeah.
But I wouldn't put him up there with in my Mount Rushmore. I got a fourth one. Who is it? A team or just top four?
Top four. You have a team you want to share? Put on there?
Well, I'm a Nick fan, but
Okay,
I'm not a diehard Nick fan. I
okay,
root for them when they're doing well. When they're
yeah.
not doing well, I'm not. I tend to follow Golden State or just basketball in general. Fourth one. No, I got to think about this one a little more. Maybe I'll put Steph up there.
Okay,
Maybe Steph would be my fourth. He's the greatest shooter ever, and he's incredibly clutch.
yeah,
His moments with he just rises to the occasion. Just he's always has when back everything from the Olympics
yeah,
performance to NCAA when he was at Davidson. If you haven't
yeah.
seen those replays, you got to watch them. They're incredible. He was a baller back then,
Oh, he was, yeah,
and yeah, and so clutch, so money, comes up big, and then he was just, his circus shots at the rim, and then he's a great passer too, but he's not a pass first kind of guy. He's just running around looking to get open and launching it. So
yeah,
I would put Steph up there as my fourth, but it's a tough one. I'm sure I'm missing I'm obviously missing like probably a dozen people I could put up there.
yeah. I've heard with Chamber. I've heard Shaq. LeBron. I'm hearing a lot. MJ. I'm hearing, but the combo ones. But yeah,
Yeah, LeBron, I mean, should be up there, right? His longevity, his defense, his
and
offense.
Kobe, of course. Yeah, I hear.
Yeah, and then I just put him in the same, I don't know, but it's
Yeah,
just like Steph is an all-time great shooter. MJ
yeah,
is all-time great all around. Magic Johnson's all-time great point guard, and Kareem, you
yeah,
can't argue. So LeBron, he's just sort of, he's great in his own way, but I don't know. I picked all the four like the best of things. LeBron's like the one of the greatest careers ever, if not the greatest career,
yeah,
right? So, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I don't have him up there on my top.
yeah. Let me ask you this: you watch the NBA playoffs, and you told you're a Knicks fan. What's your thoughts on the playoffs so far? What's going to happen? And
Oh my
you like
God, that
Bronson?
first game was a nightmare
Yeah.
for all of us. It brought memories of 30 years ago when I watched
Oh, with the
Reggie
Pacers, Knicks with Reggie. Yeah,
when Reggie Miller destroyed the Knicks in that one game that was over. I was in a gym working out and I was with my buddies and we're like, this game's over. I go turn my back and I go grab some weights and I come back. I'm looking at the game. I'm like, what happened? The game's tied. What happened? What happened here? The Pacers, like, luckily the Knicks won that series, but the whole humiliation of Reggie Miller doing that to the Knicks. What was it? 8 points in 8.9 seconds.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Reggie.
was ridiculous, and I relived it. So the game one that happened last week, where the Knicks blew, what was it, 18-point lead with like 7 seconds left, I think it was, and then a 9-point lead with 54 seconds left, and then the way it happened with Tyrese Halliburton shooting it, hitting the rim, bouncing straight up in the air, and landing right in,
Crazy.
tie it, and then him with doing the choke sign.
Yeah,
That was too much to bear because it brought
yeah,
back so many memories of the Pacers and the Knicks going at it 30 years ago, and the Pacers getting the best of the Knicks several times.
yeah,
Ewing. There was this one play where Ewing was driving, going for the basket and to win the game, and he laid it up, and it bounced off the back of the rim and bounced out, but they lost. I mean, the Pacers gave the Knicks fits during those years, and so it just reminded me of all of the Nick heartbreak moments when
yeah,
Houston beat the Knicks in 7 because John Starks went 0 for 7 from 3 and he had a shot in air ball. I mean, and then, Ewing choking in big moments, although he did bring us there, but he did choke in a couple big moments. Charles Smith couldn't get the layup or the dunk when he was at the basket because Chicago was hacking the heck out of him, but he couldn't get it done. Too many by Jordan just ripping the heart out of the Knicks during those years. It was too much for me to bear. So it wasn't just one game, that the Pacers won last week. It was like a memory of all these years.
Yeah.
And then it all came back, all resurfaced, all fresh and new. But thank goodness the Knicks pulled it out last night. They were down 20 again.
I
They were
know.
down 20 points again and won. Didn't they just do this? They just did this twice against Celtics on the
Yeah.
road. They're 6-1 on the road. 6-1 on the road in the playoffs. And they were down 23 times. I mean, is this what it takes for the Knicks to win? They can't win at home. They're
Yeah. Heartbreaking.
3-5 at home. And they blew that game where they were up. They're a 99.5% chance of winning that game.
Yeah.
Game one. And they just blew it. I just don't understand. I mean, give it to the Pacers. The guy Nimrod, what's his name? Nimrod or Nimrod, or he shot 6 threes.
Yeah. Nazar or yeah. Nimrod.
Nimrod, I forget his name. I don't even know who he is, but he shoots like crazy, and he's epic, a historical playoff performance. In general for the
Yeah.
Pacers. And then the Knicks missed 2 free throws. I mean, brutal. If they lose that series, if they lose this series, this is going to be really a problem. But thank God they won last night.
Yeah.
Thank God they won last night.
Let me ask you this: what's something you did during the pandemic that you didn't do before?
Whew. Like what's something during I mean, pick an activity I didn't do that I never did before. I mean,
Okay.
I started painting.
Okay. Wow.
I started buying graffiti spray paints, and I put a mural up in my backyard, started spray painting it, started to meditate. We were reading books I've never read before, watching TV series and doing things I've never done before, long hikes, walks alone. The one good thing that came out of the pandemic, though, is I played a lot of golf.
Me
One of the
too.
only
That's what I
sports you
did.
can
Golf.
go to the driving range, right? Started taking lessons, going to the driving range, playing a lot of golf. I started building things with my sons,
Yeah.
building like cars and like big ones. Like I had
Yeah.
these big kids building go-karts. I started playing basketball in the backyard. I started doing projects that took a lot of time to do, where you're alone with your thoughts, right? And that's very rare in today's world to do. So I thank you for that. But yeah, that's one of the things I did do.
Okay. What is your dream car? And then, yeah, that you're driving for. And then, what are your thoughts on the EV car?
Yeah, I would probably do a
Yeah.
Bugatti Veyron.
Do you still have the G wagon?
I know I sold that
I
thing.
sold it.
I
Okay.
can't drive it on the peninsula and not be given a dirty eye to knowing how much of a gas guzzler it is. And it's 10 miles a gallon, and I couldn't drive that thing. Everyone in my here drives a Tesla or in
Yeah.
some sort of EV now.
Yeah.
So driving a G-Wagon felt like I was trapped in the 1990s.
Kind of like with a Hummer. Same thing.
But driving a Hummer, it's like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Like driving a Hummer.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the EV car? I know, and what are your thoughts on those?
Oh
Any
yeah, man, you
experiences?
gotta have one. And I
Yeah.
think either you have an EV or a hybrid. Maybe a hybrid's a smarter, more practical one. I love the Prius, the new Prius ones. They're gorgeous. I mean, I
Yeah.
never thought I'd say this in a million years, but Prius V's, the new version is really nice to get. Really sleek, really cool looking. Have you seen those?
Yeah. I
Y-
might have some. I don't know some, but yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. It's the model. They redesigned the whole thing from two
Yeah.
years ago, and
I think I've probably seen it though. Yeah.
yeah, it's gorgeous. And I think, and I've been loving the BMW i3 and i4.
Okay.
So
That's full electric then too.
yeah, I love the i3 I have, and then I recently test drove an i4, and it
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
It is cool. I love it. It's a great car. Anything EV is fun. Like I want to drive the Chinese models. They're incredible.
Oh, really? What's the
Yeah,
difference between the Chinese models and our models?
they're made in China.
Okay.
They're made by Chinese. They're made by Chinese manufacturers.
Okay.
What I mean is the Chinese manufactured ones. I mean design and everything, because they're super
Okay.
high,
Got it. Got it. Okay.
super high tech. The stuff and the features they have in them. I'm
Yeah.
watching these videos. They're just like, oh my god, is this a car or
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is? Yeah, just the stuff they think of in terms of the
Yeah.
features and how high tech it is. It's just like how Tesla blew everyone's minds here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. It's like a next level, and then they're not expensive either. So anyway.
Cool. Let me ask you this: What age would you want to go back in time and live at if you could go back in time? What age would you pick?
Whew. I think the 60s, like
Really?
the late 60s.
So how old were you in the 60s?
I wasn't born,
Okay.
but the late 60s,
Yeah.
like 69, the
Okay.
summer of 69. Just you hear so much about it in terms of the vibe and the energy in society and the rebellion and the experimentation with new ideas and
Mhm.
things like that. The music scene was out of control. Everyone was like a hippie or wanting to be, and there was a lot of protests, a lot of change and upheaval. But the young people felt like they were part of some new movement and they were excited about. It was a tumultuous time, but I would like
Yeah.
to maybe been a been there during that
Okay.
time. It just seemed like a time of possibility and great innovation and change in our society, both positively and negatively.
So how about music? What favorite music you like or song?
Man, I have this Prodigy kick that I've got back onto because they recently came out to San Francisco
Okay.
and then they were in Coachella. So I flew down to Coachella with my oldest to watch Prodigy. And they're a big band, rock, hip hop, EDM band from the 90s. And, they mix all these genres together, turntablism, heavy rock, and then hip hop. And they have big beat sounds, great dance grooves, but they're hard. So I really like getting to them a lot. And they're a throwback, right? In the 90s. They're one of my favorites right now. Again, I'm totally turned back onto them again.
Do you have a favorite field trip as a kid you did growing up?
Field trip?
Yeah.
Ooh, you mean with school?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I went to public schools. We didn't go to a lot of cool places. But I think,
So you grew up in
especially
New York, right?
what's that?
You grew up in New York, right?
Queens and New
Yeah.
Jersey.
So I mean, you probably went to like um, Empire State Building and the Trade Center and
Yeah,
all
we
that
did
stuff.
those,
Yeah.
but those aren't
Yeah.
fun. I
No.
went to, I guess my one I remember is Astoria. In Queens, there's a big
Yeah.
sort called Astoria.
Okay.
And I remember the whole school going to that. And the pool, it was like in the middle of the summer, sweltering summer in New
Mhm.
York, 100 degrees. We went to the pool and it was just a great fun. They had this rope where you could jump on and swing into the pool.
Oh
And
wow.
then, yeah, the pool was humongous, but Astoria, I forget it's Astoria Pool or Astoria Park or something in Queens. I remember that
Okay.
trip like it
Yeah.
was yesterday.
All right. Did you ever make it down to Rucker Park?
Only on PlayStation. That's the only time that's the only time I've gone is
Yeah.
on PlayStation. But the West Fourth ones in Greenwich Village I've been to.
Okay.
And I used to watch those games a lot.
Okay.
And like watching the competition on these playgrounds
Yeah.
for these ballers would just come and then they would just light it up. But I've never been to Rucker.
Okay. What generation are you in? Are you in the I guess in Gen X? Or are you
I think I'm Gen X. Yeah,
okay.
I think I'm Gen
So
X.
so what are your thoughts on as far as ChatGPT, AI and technology and how today's kids have it, at their fingertips at, elementary school, whatever, but what are your thoughts on all that stuff?
And it's incredible where our minds are being blown every day. Every day I read the news or I read my AI newsletters or I'm watching some YouTube podcast or I'm listening to some announcement. Every day there's some huge step or leap in abilities in these AI agents, AI language models, AI
Yeah, yeah,
applications, capabilities. And
yeah,
it's truly, truly, truly incredible. And I don't know if our society is going to be recognizable in a year in terms of the impact and the capabilities and the disruption
yeah,
that AI is going to cause in companies, in our lives, in jobs, and in societal disruption. And I'm just trying to keep up and trying to figure out how to use it both for our software company, High Note, and then getting our staff on board using it, trying new apps and new applications, see what works, what doesn't work, but also for the
yeah,
real estate side. And I think this is probably the greatest invention that humanity has ever seen. And I think even more than the internet,
yeah.
more than the original computer.
The iPhone too? or
For
the
sure. The
smartphone.
iPhone
Yeah,
is nothing compared to this.
smartphone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even better than electricity
Wow.
and even probably better, greater impact than fire.
Okay.
It's going to be the greatest or
We'll have to talk
worst,
about this 20 years from now and see where it's at. You know.
the most impactful invention and discovery and development out of that we've ever seen. It's to be for
I know
better or
it's
for
crazy with the images that come up and the whole, the this and now and how they're able to and then put stuff in and content. I wish I had as a kid to use it for school. I mean, there's
yeah.
so
I
much
mean,
you can do.
the thing is that the education system, they're the ones being discouraged from using it because it doesn't
Yeah,
fit into the original curriculum, which is
yeah,
understandable. However,
yeah,
students should use this like a tool, like they did a
yeah, yeah,
calculator, or a computer. The unfortunate thing is that AI it overlaps and replaces a lot of the things that people are learning today. Writing, summarizing, reading, analysis, generation of anything that used to use a mind could now use a computer and a chat prompt that's, a screen away. And it could be better than what anyone else has done and better at everything. So it's really scary time and exciting at the same time. So I'm
yeah.
loving it.
All right, good points and stuff. Good stuff on that. What movie recently you saw that you liked? That was good or
Movie?
bad? Yeah, movie. Yeah.
I just saw The Brutalist last night with
Okay.
Adrian Brody.
Okay.
It's a story about a Hungarian architect
Okay.
who had to flee Europe. Did you see this?
No, no.
I think he won an Oscar for it, and
Okay.
he had to flee Europe, and he landed in the U.S. and he ended up meeting a industrialist, like a
Right.
super wealthy industrialist,
Yeah.
like a Rockefeller type,
Yeah.
and he got hired by this industrialist, and they end up making this big project together. But it was the struggle and discovery of this immigrant who came over, and then you sort of discover that he's a gifted architect during the story and that he builds an incredible thing with this industrialist. But it's
Yeah.
also the story of the fight between the two sides, the capitalist and the creative architect.
Wow.
Yeah. So then
Okay.
the conflict between them, and then the struggle of him being in a new country, and then the culture clashes between the Hungarian immigrants and then the American, super rich American families and society, and the pressures and the struggle over money and creative power. And it was great. I just watched
Yeah.
it. It's 3.5 hours though. It
Oh
took me
wow.
2 nights to finish it,
Okay.
but it's well worth it.
All right. Check it out. It's a good one. Are you Apple or Android guy?
An Apple or Android guy, Apple all the
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
The last time I logged into my Apple Store account, it showed me all the things that I've owned or bought,
Yeah.
and I can't believe how rich I've made Apple. Every
I think
single
everybody has, right?
Everyone has, and I know I'm not alone, but it's sort of like every single iPhone model, iPad model, Apple lapbook, Apple
Yeah.
desktop, all the way from to the beginning of. I mean, I wish I had my historical models, but
I mean, I
all
got
the
the
way
Apple
back.
Watch now, and I like that how it's smart and
Apple
it's cool
Watch,
to
yeah,
have.
absolutely, everything. There's no honestly, I don't see. I've tried the Android, and I've tried the other stuff, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't work as well. Honestly, they might have
Yeah.
better phones, and they might have better devices and laptops from a spec perspective, but
Yeah.
the whole experience is just so much better with Apple. And that's what, we're humans. We want experience. I don't want the fastest this and the biggest that. And it's great, but
Yeah.
if it
That's a
doesn't
good
work,
point. Experience.
yeah, it's about human experience. Like how easy is it gonna make my life? I don't need to change this setting and that setting to get the optimal this or I just want something easy.
Yeah.
And this is me. I'm a techie, but
Yeah.
I that's what I like, and Apple just makes it too easy. Plus, they
Yeah.
look good. Everything looks good, and like I couldn't build a better one or design a
Yeah.
better one. Yep.
You want to share a tip of the week, business tip or life tip to our listeners out there?
Tip of the week.
Yeah.
I've been doing this, and I think everyone should do it,
Okay.
especially if you're struggling through
Yeah.
stuff. But a gratitude journal, and
Okay.
what that is every morning or as many as you can, you take some time to write down the things that you're happy for, that you're grateful for. And what it does is it really sets your day off well,
Yeah.
because then you're thinking, oh my God, these little problems that I got going on are nothing, because you have such a great life. You're grateful for this. You're grateful for your mom, your dad, your your sister, your brother, your son, your daughter, your wife, your colleagues, whatever, your health, whatever you're grateful for, put it down. And
Okay.
then it's a constant reminder like, shit, life's too short to be worried about all this stuff. And you're happy. You're happy for what you got, as opposed to being upset what you don't have. So gratitude journal was a great way. Like for example, I could be San Francisco. It's a ghost of itself. It's a shell of its former self.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna be grateful about things, well, it's still a beautiful place. The weather is incredible still, right?
Yeah.
Quality of life's still very high. The water is incredible. Like I love Lombard Street. I love Land's End. I love Twin Peaks. I love North Beach. I love Embarcadero. And so you
You like the
start thinking
marina?
of what's that?
The marina? You like the marina area?
Absolutely. Love the
Yeah.
marina, the energy,
Yeah.
the vibe, the youth, everything about the city. I love the Victorians, the Noe Valley neighborhoods, the Potrero Hill neighborhood. And you just start writing these things down and thinking about all the great things about it.
Yeah.
And then you forget, like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of homeless right now. It's a problem. We got to deal with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drugs. Fentanyl has run through the city like crazy.
Yeah,
There's a lot
sad.
of vacancy, commercial vacancy. There are a lot of boarded up shops and stores. But if you focus on the positives, it sets your day right.
Yeah.
So gratitude journaling.
Cool. That's cool. Who do you want to sit down and eat with dead or alive? You could pick somebody. Who would it be?
Oh man, wow, that's a tough one. I was gonna say one person, but it's gonna be a political answer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name, but let me see. Who would I want to sit down with to eat? It's funny. I think I would like to have a meal with Trump,
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Not because I like him
Yeah.
or I advocate for his policies or
Yeah.
anything, but how cool or crazy would that be to sit down and talk to him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It
Right?
won't be boring for sure. That's for sure. It won't be boring.
It won't be boring. I mean, it could be, or maybe like not, but it'd be interesting to sit down and sit with him, and just to talk,
Yeah.
or, Obama, I would love to sit with,
Yeah.
have a
Did you
meal
ever
with.
see Trump in New York when you were out there as a kid or run around or
No,
not
but
really? Yeah.
it's funny. Back then, he was like Giuliani was. He was a
Yeah.
hero. Everyone loved Trump because he was building all these great buildings and he was kind of a brash developer and he was also very charismatic back then and he had a
Yeah.
book and he had his games and everyone liked him,
Yeah.
But now it's a little different. But you can't, I mean, but you look back and you sort of say, how did he become who he is today? And it's a pretty incredible story. Like
There's
if
a thing
you
on
look,
Netflix called The American Dream. You've seen that one?
no, it's on my
Netflix.
list.
Yeah. It goes into why he wants to run for president and breaks the whole down on how it happens and how it comes to.
I want to
It's
watch
pretty
it.
good. Yeah.
I want to watch it, but it's an incredible story. I mean, it's sort
Yeah.
of like if you would imagine him being president or being elected, it's sort of unimaginable. But now
Yeah.
you see it, right? It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. What about if you're stuck in an elevator? Who would you be stuck in an elevator with? You could pick somebody.
I don't know why, but I always turn to like some kind of musician,
Okay.
famous musician.
All right.
So it would be someone like some famous, like some big star, right? Like Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift or Beyonce or
Okay.
Jay-Z or someone
Yeah.
like that. That I think being stuck on an elevator with would be kind of cool.
Okay.
So I would probably say Lady Gaga. I'm kind of curious
All right.
about, or Madonna. These
Okay.
people who are like just
Yeah.
next level, but I think you could
Uh,
have a conversation with if you were stuck in an elevator together. Beyonce, I would like to hang out with Beyonce a little bit. She seems like a cool
Okay.
person.
All right. Let me ask you this: who's your favorite sports team and player?
I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't
a
watch
Judge?
baseball. I don't watch baseball anymore.
No.
I don't know who does, but I'm still a Yankee fan.
Are you like a Judge?
I mean, who doesn't like Judge? The guy, except one part that I don't like about him.
What's that?
He's not clutch in the playoffs. He has a poor track record in the
Yeah.
playoffs. But I mean,
I
I
think
just look at
Bonds was
the
like that at one point. They did well in the 0-2 series, but Bonds was the same thing. And then he
who?
got there. Bonds.
Oh,
He had a
Bonds,
bad
yeah.
track record in the playoffs, and he got good in that one year.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, Aaron Judge's numbers right now are unreal. I mean, he's batting almost 400.
Yeah.
He's leading the league in homers, and he's like second in RBIs, and
Yeah.
he's leading in slugging. He's got his WAR is through the roof. He leads everyone, and almost every hitting and offensive category. And he has been for the last few years. But he's
Yeah.
batting almost 400 now. For a little while, he was over 400. So you're batting
Yeah.
400, and you're leading the league in homers and RB, and you're up there in RBIs, and I mean, and then your on base percentage is through the roof. It's over 500. So these are like Bonds level numbers
Yeah.
or Babe Ruth level numbers, right? And he's
Yeah.
been that way forever. Otani is another one, and obviously, and then who doesn't like Otani and just admire what he's doing?
Yeah.
He's about to start pitching again.
Crazy.
He's about to start pitching again. Out of control. That's crazy. But I'm a
Yeah.
Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee
Okay.
fan.
All right. Did you watch wrestling as a kid growing up, and you have a favorite wrestler?
Man, I mean, I back then it was big, right?
Yeah.
You had Hulk Hogan, obviously, Andre the Giant. You
Yeah.
had who were the
Macho
favorite?
Man.
Like Piper. What was?
Roddy Piper
Yeah, and then
with the
you
skirt.
had who?
He had the skirt. Roddy Piper had the skirt
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
kilt.
Roddy Piper. Yeah, this one we used to do like wrestling was there was one guy had a figure four
Ric Flair.
figure, huh?
Ric Flair.
I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar, but they used
Ric
to do
Flair
a
had the figure four.
figure four lock, and then a crab was a crab move. There was
Uh,
one. Me and my cousins used to do this. We jump
yeah.
on someone's back. They're laying on the ground. Jump on their back, and then put their arms over our knees. So imagine you're on top of their back. They're laying
Yeah.
on their back, laying on their front, and you're sitting on them. And you
Yeah.
take their arms and put them over your knees, right? And then you pull the head back. And so they're like like this. And I don't even know what that move was, but we used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And we used to always in high school. We used to always wrestling moves, and we jump off some banister and like hit them with the elbow, and then yeah, so we used to do a lot. But Andre the Giant, he was awesome. There was a couple of others. Name some other ones.
Macho Man.
Macho Man. Yeah,
I
the
remember
guy Macho
Sting
Man.
was there. Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
Love that.
ultimately.
That Ricky the Steamboat.
Ray Steamboat, exactly. There's so many funny ones. So many
Yeah.
fun. But Hulk Hogan was awesome too.
Okay. What advice would you give yourself at 12 years old? If you go back in time, what advice would you tell yourself at 12 years old?
Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's hard, though, to not care and not be afraid. But I would say don't let fear stop you. Don't let not knowing stop you. Just go for it. Worst case is you fail. But
Yeah.
you learn through failure. Otherwise, how are you going to learn anything? So just try.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the result. Just go. And I think we're always fighting with this indecision, inaction. There's another quote. There's no courage without fear. I think it's from Edge of Tomorrow, the movie. I think Tom Cruise movie, right? There is no courage without fear.
Yeah.
So you can't be courageous if you're not afraid. That's interesting, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to be courageous and have no fear. Well, you need fear to be courageous. So that's what I tell my 12, and I have a 13-year-old. So that's what I try to tell him. Hey, just do it.
Well, how long have you been a homeowner for, and what do you like about the city you live in?
I've been a homeowner for a long time. I have a great loft in the city, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I moved to Burlingame to be closer to schools for my youngest than my oldest, but he graduated to college. But now my oldest is at a school down here in Hillsborough.
Okay.
But I have a loft, a great loft in the city. It used to be 3 units combined. I sold a third of the units. So we have 2 units still that are combined. Have you
Yeah.
been to the unit, Steve?
I don't think I have. I know you
No.
got like a good Blue Angel viewing, right? From Fleetwood.
Yeah. Beta Breakers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had a couple of climb parties with Beta Breakers. I think you were
Yeah.
supposed to come at one of them, and you
I
couldn't
was
come.
supposed to, yeah. Didn't make,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you do
But,
a Fleetwood or something, I'm down to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
Beta Breakers
Beta
would run
Break-
right by our unit,
Okay.
and so we would have little
That should be
parties.
fun. How was that this year? Pretty.
Well, I don't live there anymore. I rented it out.
Oh, okay.
But so we missed the loft. So we 2,500, 2,700 square foot loft.
So is Burlingame a little slower than the city?
Much slower. I don't like it,
Yeah.
but we're here for other reasons than we
Yeah.
like.
Well, my mom and dad lived in Burlingame. They're from the city. Lived in Burlingame for a little bit. I lived by those apartments with the tennis courts, kind of by off of the freeway, right there, kind of by the
Yeah.
dealership, right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
great.
my aunt lives in Hillsborough right now. So
Great town.
You can see the airport, which is crazy from the hills. You see the planes leaving, and it's
Yeah,
kind of cool. You can watch, you know.
it's a great
Yeah.
town.
So you weren't in real estate. What'd you be doing for work?
If I wasn't working for, I'd be starting an AI company.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be starting a company using AI or something like that. I'd be trying to start or joining one.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite video game or board game growing up that you play as a kid, or both?
Favorite board game? You know, I love the one I love now is Catan. It's Settlers of Catan. So I play that from time to time with my kids online.
Yeah.
It's they don't have an officially sanctioned one, but Settlers of Catan is a really good one. And
Yeah.
but as I was a kid, Risk,
Yeah.
Monopoly, these
Hear
were
that one a lot. Monopoly a
yeah,
lot.
played a lot of Monopoly. You know, and Risk has been a good one, but takes too long to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What's your drink of choice?
What's that?
Drink of choice.
Drink
Yeah.
any Japanese whiskeys
Okay.
or any whiskey in general. I mean, but
Okay.
the Japanese ones are really
What's
next level.
what's the difference between a Japanese whiskey and like the other ones we hear, or Americans or whatever, like type of what's it? Is it
Well,
sweeter or what's the?
the Japanese are kind of interesting because they really know how to perfect their craft.
Okay.
And they figured out how to make better everything.
Yeah.
Better cars, better electronics, better whiskey, better steak,
Yeah.
better pizza. Now they're really experts at Neapolitan pizza, right? And they just learn how to do something and then they figure out the science and they do it better. So the whiskeys are really just seems to be next level. And Yamazaki whiskeys or Hibiki whiskeys, you know, I'm no whiskey guy in terms of telling you exactly why it's better,
Yeah.
right? But they sure taste good. And everyone raves about the Japanese whiskey, so I'm sort of raving about it too. But do
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know? Like, do I compare this to you know, to you know, like a any of the American whiskeys?
Yeah.
You know, how do I compare in terms of taste or flavor? I don't know. I just feel like they taste better. And it could be maybe because I hear Japanese whiskeys are so good. But when I taste them, objectively, I feel like Oban is one of my favorites too. Oban whiskey.
All right. How about you want to share a guilty pleasure? Do you have one of those?
Yeah, video games.
Okay.
I started playing this one game, World of Warships, and
Is
it's
that on
like
your
battle.
iPhone or is that on the console
It's on a
or PC?
PC.
Okay.
And when my son's playing games in his room, I go in there and I jump on the PC and I start playing the World of Warships one. And it's a game where you pick famous warships from the past,
Yeah.
like Japanese destroyer or U.S. battleship or
Yeah.
whatever it may be, and then go to battle with other
Wow.
warships.
Okay. I
And
guess maybe
so
check it out. Yeah.
yeah, it's super realistic and it's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So I play that more than I should.
Yeah. You got a favorite emoji that you share to people?
Favorite emoji?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. What's that one?
Well, it's like the hand in the face. It's like kind of like yeah,
Smack my head. Like,
yeah,
my God, are you kidding me?
yeah.
Like
It's not
that
like
one.
shaking my head, but similar. Yeah,
It's similar. Yeah.
yeah.
Smack my head. Yeah.
Who would be a good guest and nominate to be on the show? I could reach out to and get him on here. Comes to mind.
You have Kenny on before?
I've done Kenny, but when I first started, I could get him on here again though. He'd be
Yeah.
good. We could
I
reminisce
don't
again.
know. I'm not sure. I don't know. You gotta, I can react to people it's hard to,
Yeah, I'm gonna get Chris Lim and reach out to Joe Hahn, get some other
yeah.
climbers.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
would
think
pick,
who else was in climb that was a good person to do.
yeah. I don't know. I gotta, let me think. I don't
Yeah,
know. Not from, I can't think of anyone else from Climb that,
yeah,
but I don't know.
yeah.
I'd have to react to that. I'm not sure who else to suggest for you, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun.
And then, what's on the bucket list? What's out there you want to do, Mark?
Bucket lists. Oh man. Bucket lists are I just did one the other day, Coachella. I went to Coachella, right?
Okay. Okay.
And I went
Cool.
with one of my sons. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of great. I would love to go to a concert with my youngest one,
Yeah. So you're a
I
big
think that
concert guy then? You like
I love
concerts?
concerts. Yeah.
I saw
Bucket list.
like Def Leppard and Journey and Stephen Miller. It was like last year, my brother.
Oh
My dad
wow.
liked that music, but it was fun. It was at the Oracle Park. It was pretty loud, but it
Oh
was,
nice.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Bucket lists that, there would be like traveling type of things.
Okay.
I would love to see Machu Picchu in person.
Yeah.
That would be a bucket list item. And then, those travel are easy ones to say. I would love to go to a national park at night and
Mhm.
bring my telescope out and
Oh,
see
wow. Okay.
see
See
stuff.
like
We tried
stars.
to do that. Yeah, see the stars and planets and the Milky Way and things like that.
Yeah.
We tried that one year. We went to some park in Utah, but it was Zion, but the weather didn't cooperate.
Yeah.
We hauled out this telescope and brought it out there, and we were gonna check out the stars, and then, but it didn't happen for us. So I would love to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just stuff like that.
So how do we follow you or find you? I know you run High Note, but how do we reach out to you if you have questions about, well,
Yeah, Instagram, DM me on Instagram or maybe
okay.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
or you could email me, mark@choy.com.
Okay.
But if I don't answer that, reach out to any of the other social media ones. We get tons of emails, as you know,
Yeah.
and it's hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah. Totally. Got any questions about the real estate market? You got Mark, you can reach out, or me, you can reach out. Any questions here to help? Always here and see real estate through a new lens. Any final thoughts, Mark, before we get out of here?
No, I love this. I think you should
Yeah.
do this. We should do this more often. Have an
All right,
update or
cool.
something. I think
Thanks.
I
It's
think it's
it's
a
it's
great.
coming. Yeah, so we're on Spotify. You can find me on the spot. Post by Steve. I think we're at like 17, 18 episodes. We're on YouTube, we're Instagram, but we'll keep putting these out there. So
Fantastic.
all
It
right.
was great doing this. Thank you, Steve.
All right. Take care. All
See
right.
ya.
Probably spot right here.
Bye bye.